They will either lose their health insurance through Medicaid or have to pay $2,000 more a year.
Now on NBC Palm Springs at 6, Congressman Raul Ruiz is hosting a roundtable with local healthcare officials about potential impacts from the big, beautiful bill. We'll have more from them coming up in a live report.
Also tonight, we're learning about that right there. That was a stolen Roadrunner statue. It has one local HOA offering a $10,000 reward. We'll tell you about it coming up.
And we're tracking above average temperatures into the weekend. We'll have more on that full forecast coming up. NBC Palm Springs at 6 starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Mester. A roundtable talk is taking place right now. It's to discuss the budget reconciliation bill, labeled by President Trump as the big, beautiful bill. That's tonight's top story. The conversation will include members from several local hospitals and medical agencies. Tiani Jadaling joining us live from Palm Desert tonight, where that talk is currently being hosted. Tiani?
Mark, after 1 hour of discussion, the roundtable talk hosted by Congressman Raul Ruiz in collaboration with several agencies, including the Desert Healthcare District and DEP Health, has officially ended. A number of topics were discussed amongst leaders, including community efforts, outpatient health, philanthropic work, and the protection of hospitals. One member who was in on the meeting, Dave Brinkman, the CEO of DEP Health, is here to join me to talk to me more about what was discussed in the meeting. David, thank you so much for joining us. In that meeting with the other leaders, you were mentioning that during COVID, DEP Health opened up an outpatient clinic to help those who needed assistance. With the issue in the big, beautiful bill, happening in real time, could you see DEP Health opening up that outpatient care once more?
So COVID was a horrific time in world history, and we're about to enter a horrific time in United States history. We will see people losing basic access to health care. Today's meeting was talking about how we will respond as healthcare providers, as our legislators respond in Washington, and how it will take a partnership to do it. So it will take creativity, just like COVID demanded of all of us.
So as of today, is there any services that you can offer to those in fear of losing their health insurance?
DEP Health operates 25 clinics in Riverside and San Diego County. All of our clinics are open to all people, and for people who don't have access to insurance, we offer a sliding fee schedule for them.
And that can be offered at any of the clinics offered here?
That's right, absolutely. There is access available to all people, even those who don't have insurance.
If there's one message, I know you mentioned community efforts going to be a big part here moving forward. Is there something that you really took from this meeting and said, hey, I think that could really be a light bulb on the topic here? That's going to be what we're going to do moving forward.
Yeah, the congressman asked all of us to communicate with one another when one clinic becomes overburdened or an emergency department becomes overburdened, that the entire healthcare system in the region partners together in a collaborative effort to make sure all people are cared for. At the end of the day, we need to get everybody through.
David, thank you so much for joining me. And again, today's meeting, as Congressman Raul Ruiz mentioned earlier, was to discuss the needs of the local community. And it's safe to say more meetings like this will happen in the near future. Live in Palm Desert, I'm Tiani Jadaling, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, Tiani, thank you for that. And on the opposite side of the aisle, those in favor of the bill, like Congressman Ken Calvert from the 41st District, had this to say about its impact on health care across the Coachella Valley. Here's part of the statement for you. Quote, our bill strengthens Medicaid and protects it for those who the program was designed to help, the disabled, children, mothers, and seniors. Most of the so-called cuts to Medicaid are actually new work requirements that are being put in place for able-bodied working-age adults without children, end quote.
And we're continuing to track some mop-up efforts that continue at the 3-acre vegetation fire which broke out in Coachella this afternoon. We have live images from the scene right now where firefighters are still actively working there. This started around 3, but no homes were damaged. This blaze is reported near southbound State Route 86 and the Airport Boulevard off-ramp. Right now, State Route 86, the southbound lanes, is still closed at this hour as their work continues. You can see they still have the fire hoses out there, making sure no spots rekindle and continue to burn some of that dry vegetation in the area. So right now, we're tracking again the mop-up efforts of what was a vegetation fire in Coachella. If anything changes throughout the evening, we'll keep you updated here on our broadcast as well as NBCPalmSprings.com.
And we'll get a check on the conditions for those firefighters right now. Live look right now from our Agua Caliente casino camera high above downtown Palm Springs. Chloe's back after a brief hiatus and seeing just a little bit of wind gusts out there, but definitely not the stuff we've been seeing the past few weeks, right?
Yeah, no, the wind's not a huge concern for us this week. Again, they pick up a little bit in the evening hours for those wind-prone areas, but it's that dry vegetation and those hot conditions that we have been seeing over the past. I mean, really, we've not seen a lot of rain this year for us in the desert. We desperately could use a rainstorm for us with those drought conditions. Now, if you've been following along with that tsunami, again, from that 8.8 magnitude earthquake there off the coast of Russia, just want to give you an update for those that are asking. They're saying, give me some updates, Chloe. They have lifted those advisories for not only Hawaii, but for us here on the West Coast for those southern portions. So San Diego and Oceanside no longer under a special weather statement for that tsunami advisory. Los Angeles County, Ventura County still under that tsunami advisory this evening. So still tracking some big waves there off the coast. We'll continue to keep you updated on that. Outside right now, 104 in downtown Palm Springs at the airport. Winds, sustained winds, not too bad. Single-digit winds at this hour. As far as gusts go, we'll call it teens for most of the region. So not too bad, as Mark mentioned this evening. Something we'll see for this week is similar to the weeks past. It starts to pick up in the afternoon and evening hours for those wind-prone areas, but we are not passing that wind advisory threshold at all this week and haven't been. So as far as the evening stroll tonight, like I said, 104 right now in downtown Palm Springs, 90s to the 8 o'clock hour. If you're going to go for that late evening stroll after 10 p.m., you'll be in the 80s there as well. So Thursday, more of the same what we saw today, the ridge of high pressure, bringing in those warm conditions and actually warm us up into the weekend. Here's a look at your Comfort Air 3-day forecast. 110 Thursday, we're going to be above 110 degrees through the weekend, and for portions of next week, we'll break down what we can expect in that full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Chloe. More local news tonight. Nurses are planning a protest outside of Desert Regional Medical Center tomorrow morning. This will be held at 5:30 to raise awareness to what they're calling unsafe staffing levels, and they're asking for adequate training for nurses. This is all part of a larger effort involving nurses at 5 other hospitals across the region. We've reached out to Desert Regional Medical Center for comment on the planned protest. They said in part, quote, "We are currently involved in bargaining with the union and will continue to negotiate in good faith in hopes of reaching a successful contract. Our focus is on providing high-quality health care to our community and a positive work environment for our employees."
Tonight, a homeowners association in Palm Springs is offering a $10,000 reward for any information that would lead to the safe return of their Roadrunner statue. Brett Rosen joins us live in studio tonight with more on the search for Brett, that stolen art.
Mark, this Roadrunner statue you see behind me has gone missing for more than a year now, and homeowners tell me no price is too high to get back their beloved art piece. It's like something out of a cartoon, except the Roadrunner didn't run away. It was actually stolen outside the gates of Asina, a neighborhood on Vista Chino in Palm Springs. It's been missing for almost 2 years now, and it was a part of a collection of other desert animal statues. However, with the recent death of the original artist, HOA Vice President Tim Mathias says the statue has now become irreplaceable.
I mean, I suppose we could have something made by a different artist or commission something differently, but this was part of a suite, a collection, and so we were hoping to have the original artist do it. We did contact the studio, we reached out, and so we were hopeful that, that they might do it for us, but we never heard back from them.
Now right here is what's left of the Roadrunner that went missing over a year ago. Just a couple staging lights and a post of where it once lied. And when speaking to homeowners here at Asina, they tell me that it wasn't just a piece of art that was stolen from them. It was a piece of the community.
There's a vacancy. There's a vacancy there. It's gone. And it also breaks up the balance of the artwork that was here. And the statues were also very enticing to be able to buy in this community.
The Homeowners Association is offering $10,000 for information that will lead to the safe return of the art piece, a price Asina homeowner Audrey Joseph says is pennies on the dollar. Do you think that statue is worth the $10,000 reward?
I think it's worth more than $10,000. First of all, you couldn't recreate the statue in the same way as the artist is now passed away. If you try to get someone to try and recreate it based on a photo, then it would probably cost 30 grand.
Tim Mathias says anyone with tips on the missing statue can do so anonymously. He says the HOA are not the police. They just want the safe return of their art piece.
I've already said, we're not asking any questions. We're not out to prosecute anybody. We just want the statue back.
Now, if you have any information that can lead to the safe return of the statue, you can go to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com, where you can find the email and phone number to give those helpful tips. Live in studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you. Hoping someone will do the right thing there. New at 6 o'clock tonight, the city of Indio is reminding nonprofits and government entities time is running out to apply for a $5,000 grant from the city. This is part of their community grants and sponsorship program. The deal is your project must benefit the city or its residents. Some of the examples they provided include enhancing quality of life or the delivery of services to residents, as well as strengthening the city's economic development. Applications are due by the end of the day tomorrow, July 31st. If you'd like to apply, you can find the link in the newsroom tab on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Best of luck to you. Coming up next here on NBC, we have an update on the massive earthquake in Russia that triggered tsunami alerts around the world. We'll have the latest details ahead.
Also this evening, President Trump is making an effort to make medical bills more accessible for patients. But more on this after the break.
And a look at your gold and silver prices. Stay with us. Those headlines and more right after the break.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back as we turn to the latest from the gubernatorial race.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris will not run for governor of California in 2026. In a statement released today, Harris said, quote, "My leadership and public service will not be in elected office," end quote. Harris added she'll share more information about her plans later this year. Among the options Harris is reportedly considering starting a 501c4 organization that focuses on the ecosystem and creating a political action committee that raises money for Democratic candidates.
Tsunami alerts have been lifted across most areas in the U.S. after a massive earthquake in Russia. Tsunami advisories were canceled for Hawaii, most of California, coastal Washington, and Oregon. But alerts do remain in effect for two parts of the coastline here in California. Hawaii and the beaches in Los Angeles County have reopened. The National Weather Service is warning beachgoers to be careful. The ocean will continue to fluctuate its levels over the next several days.
In consumer news this evening, President Trump is launching an effort to make it easier for Americans to access their own medical records. More than 60 companies have signed a pledge to help make data more accessible for patients across the healthcare system. Some of those companies include Amazon, Apple, and Google. Trump unveiled the initiative's framework during a speech at the White House today. Medicare and Medicaid services say the companies have committed to deliver results by early next year, but the agency did not detail any specific benchmarks the group is expected to meet.
Take a live look outside now. Our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera. Chloe Carlson's in next, tracking those blue skies and those warm temperatures. That 7-day forecast is right after the break, so stay with us.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
And happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back. Right now, we're taking a live look at the Walter Clark Highway 11 cam in Rancho Mirage. Beautiful, clear blue skies today. A slight breeze there in Rancho Mirage. So another beautiful day here in the desert and right around average for this time of year. Okay, a little above 110 for the high today. 108 is normal for us this time of year. At this hour, still 106 on the southeast end in India, 106 in Thousand Palms. Overnight tonight will be in the mid-70s here for the desert floor, 67 up in the high desert there in Joshua Tree. As far as surface moisture, I mentioned this earlier. We're not tracking any rainstorms in the forecast. Very dry conditions for us. So our surface moisture 5% for the remainder of this week into the weekend. So yeah, staying very dry here in the desert. Shocker. As far as future wind potential, yeah, we're not going to be reaching any wind advisories, so that's good here. As I mentioned also, we're going to keep those winds picking up in the afternoon and evening hours for those wind-prone areas. So the usual suspects, Desert Hot Springs, the wind corridor near Whitewater, 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds, so those gusts will be in the 30s and for maybe some isolated areas in the 40s for us here. For most of the desert floor, we'll call it breezy, breezy in the high desert as well. So for Friday, not much change day to day, pretty steady conditions here in the Coachella Valley this week. That ridge of high pressure center over Southern California. Going to just stay parked there for the next few days. 110 to 114. So temperatures start to jump as we get into Friday and into our weekend. So here's a look at your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. So yeah, we're going to be jumping above 110 degrees. That's going to continue for our Thursday. Again, we'll have those rise 112 Friday through the weekend, and really going to be staying warm through mid next week with 112 as well next Wednesday. Now, speaking of Wednesday, it is Wednesday today. Time for another Water Wise Wednesday. Check it out.
Water Wise Wednesday, brought to you by Coachella Valley Water District.
The Coachella Valley Water District continues to work to install non-potable recycled water pipes. The Coachella Valley Water District is expanding its non-potable recycled water system to serve more customers. Here to tell us more is Lorraine Garcia from the Coachella Valley Water District. What can you tell us about this project, Lorraine?
We are installing a 1-mile-long pipeline connection on Cook Street from Sherrill Avenue to Riviera Drive, and that's to expand our water system and to deliver to more customers.
And why is this project so important?
This project is part of Coachella Valley Water District's long-term water management goals to increase recycled water supplies to use on outdoor irrigation such as HOAs, golf courses, so those large landscapes. And that reduces the amount of groundwater that's being used and, ensures the reliable water supplies for current and future customers.
That's going to be very helpful to people in that area. Where can viewers go for more information?
So we do appreciate everybody's patience during this critical construction project because there will be delays on Cook Street. But to learn more, visit cvwd.org/NPW Connection Projects.
Water Wise Wednesday, brought to you by Coachella Valley Water District.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caitlin Kelly. Tim O'Brien has the night off. Well, after representing the desert on the national stage in Irvine, La Quinta AYSO Soccer is back home and already looking ahead. With the new season fast approaching, the league says it needs more help than ever before. From coaching to concessions, the push is on to find volunteers who are ready to keep our local soccer programs thriving.
My name is Tom Reed. I'm a coach administrator, coach instructor for AYSO La Quinta. Some of our teams actually made it to nationals this year out in Irvine for AYSO nationals, and it was an absolutely amazing experience for the kids and the coaches and the referees, really for everybody. Some of our teams did really well at nationals. They won so many games. They gained valuable experience. They got to play and have a good time. Sometimes they don't even remember the games. They mostly just remember the experiences. And it's such a rewarding thing for so many teams in not just Southern California, but all over the U.S. We're already getting a lot of signups and registrations here in La Quinta and in Indio and Palm Springs and Cathedral City and Desert Hot Springs, and we're really looking forward to a great fall season. Registrations have really gone up. Every year we're always looking for more volunteers. Every year we seem to have less at the beginning of the season, and we're always looking for more coaches, referees, somebody to work the snack bar, somebody to help out with the uniforms. And there seems to be, since COVID, a lack of volunteerism. And we really do need that for all of our leagues, all of our sports to thrive throughout the Valley. So we're looking for volunteers now for La Quinta AYSO, also in Indio, Cathedral City, Palm Springs, and Desert Hot Springs. We're always looking to recruit and train coaches. We are right now doing registration and signups and getting coaches trained and background and certified. We do online trainings. We also do in-person trainings. And the time is now. We need coaches now.
If you're interested in volunteering, simply email the address shown at the bottom of your screen. And as Tom said, no previous experience is required. Now, before I let you go, I want to mention that last year, 3 teams had to be cut because there weren't enough volunteers. And the coaches that were there had to coach 3 teams apiece. So now's the time to step up and make sure our young athletes get to continue on the pitch this fall. That'll do it for sports. I'm Caitlin Kelly.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
With the summer season wrapping up for school kids here in the Valley, a reminder, this Friday is the last event in Cathedral City's free Summer Movies and Books series. It will be held at 10 a.m. Friday at the Mary Pickford Theater. They'll be showing the movie Sing 2. Last year, the program drew nearly 2,000 children and parents. Turnout this year looking very strong once again. Admission is free. Passes are available at the city's library on Date Palm Drive. This event is hosted by the city's Parks and Community Events Commission. It's sponsored by Dinner with Patsy and Read With Me.
The Palm Springs Surf Club is hosting the new Palm Springs Symphony. It's a teaser performance before their opening season this winter. The event starts at 6:30 tonight. There's going to be a red carpet, cocktail event, and offers a first look at the symphony as they gear up to launch alongside the Plaza Theater, which is set to open in December. Tonight's concert itself starts at 7:30. All right, also tonight, Hollywood couple Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen are set to make history at this year's Emmy Award ceremony. 2 actors will receive the Bob Hope Humanitarian Award. This will mark the first time the award is handed out to a couple. The Television Academy says the honor recognizes their lifetime of extraordinary philanthropy and activism, including numerous organizations on their own, and co-founding an organization that provides resources for families affected by drug and alcohol abuse. The Emmy Awards air September 14th. We'll be right back.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
That's what we do every time the Rogan Report comes on. Sometimes you just gotta scream. And there's now a club in Chicago that allows you to do just that without shame, guilt, or even asking permission. Each Sunday, the Scream Club gathers at the Chicago Pier. They scream to their heart's content. Organizers say it's a way to release tension and stress because there's always a little bit of that lingering somewhere, but definitely not here.
Ready? 3.
Yeah, right.
Some do yoga, some scream. I guess whatever works, right?
Whatever works, yeah. You know, on my way home from work, sometimes the car becomes the Scream Club.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We're back here for the news at 11, so please join us for that. Meantime, we're going to send things over to Fred Rogan tonight. He's got the latest with the Rogan Report. Hey, Fred.
The Rogan Report is presented by The Living Desert.
Oh, you can try to run. You can try to escape. You can even try to blend in with the trash. But when modern drone technology finds you, you're guilty. And it's harder and harder to hide. Welcome to our Wednesday show. You know that Palm Springs has announced plans for 2 new warehouses that'll be built on a 10-acre site. The development is aimed at meeting the increasing demand for storage and distribution services in the area. That project expected to create about 200 jobs. Big win for the local economy. City officials believe the warehouses will not only provide employment opportunities, but attract more businesses to the region. Not everybody's a fan of the plan. Tim and Karen wrote to show 3,451 trucks per day that will be on the road to and from the facilities. We think you know how many accidents involving semis, some fatal, have happened in our area in the past few weeks, not to mention Highway 74 that may be an alternative to the I-10. The city, with a budget deficit, shows their greed with no regard to the quality of life for residents. Our contributors tonight, Chauncey Thompson and Nick Collins. Nick, you're up first. What do you think the impact of these warehouses will be on local businesses?
I think it's a stupid idea. I think it's short-sighted. I don't think they're going to add any value. I don't see how putting just giant rectangles in the desert are going to bring any really desirability for people in Palm Springs. When I drive by these places in Moreno Valley, I'm not looking at it like I want to go to that city. I'm thinking it's desolate and all it is a bunch of rectangles out there. Chauncey, what's your thoughts?
Nick, I couldn't agree with you more. I thought about Fontana, so I'm on the 10, you're on the 60 with all these warehouses. And it's going to be done in 2029. So yes, we're in a budget deficit now in Palm Springs, but in 2029, the outlook could look a lot different. So yes, it's going to bring some jobs to the valley. It's also going to bring more traffic, as your viewers wrote in. I would push CVAG, and the city of Palm Springs needs to ensure that the roads are kept up. As we've already experienced, if you go into Palm Springs, Indian already has enough traffic on it. So these roads need to be big rig equipped.
Yeah, but don't you have to balance development and maintaining the character of Palm Springs? I understand what you're saying about the traffic, Chauncey. But Nick, what you're saying is I wouldn't put them there at all. Don't we need more industry, more business in Palm Springs, Nick?
That's a great question. But they went ahead, that same council went ahead and eliminated all of the short-term rentals. And think about those homeowners. They were buying, helping the housing market. They were renting it out. It was helping resorts, eateries, shops. And they thought that was a bad idea because it was bringing these people they don't want here. And instead, we're okaying warehouse jobs for minimum wage. and now you're going to be working out in North Palm Springs, and it's just going to be tumbleweeds. It's going to look like missile silos or homeless shelters.
All right.
Right.
Now let's get to a new episode of Rogan Report Court, and we head out to Desert Hot Springs. Desert Hot Springs police looking for a suspect. He'd been accused of assault, and the DHS police were hot on his trail. The officers deployed a drone and watched as the suspect tried to hide in a pile of garbage, which somehow seems fitting. The suspect had no idea a drone was clocking his every move. The officers entered the backyard and knew exactly where to look. Where else would a piece of trash hide but in a massive trash pile?
You in the trash pile, it's the police. I know you're in there. Come out with your hands up. If you don't comply, I'm going to use force against you. You may be injured. You hide into the trash pile. You know I'm right here, and you know I know where you're at. Climb out here. Climb out here. Get down on your face. Get down on your face. All the way down. Put your hands out like an airplane.
What's the moral here? You can't hide from a drone, and even if you are trash, trash can't save you from the consequences of your actions or from Rogan Report Court. On the topic of breaking the law, I just read about a concerning trend in Southern California. Burglars getting smarter with their techniques, now using new methods to scout homes, monitoring routines, checking for security systems to figure out the best targets while avoiding capture. Some even use social media to gather information about when people are away. Law enforcement is warning residents, be more vigilant, consider upgrading your security measures. There's got to be a wake-up call about home security and how we need to stay proactive to protect our homes. This report out of LA. But what are the burglars here thinking about? What could they get away with? Chauncey, what do you think homeowners can do to better protect themselves?
Get continuous camera coverage. I think a lot of us love these Ring cameras, but I'll tell you, I get 50 triggers a day and half of them are bogus. And when someone's actually on my property, it doesn't come on. So investing in continuous coverage. And the biggest thing, you already mentioned it, was keep your information off of Facebook and whatever other social media site. They don't need to know that you're laying on a beach in Hawaii, that you're, hours and thousands of miles away. But Nick, you were traveling last week, so there was an opportunity for us to get into your house while you were in Menifee. So what are your thoughts?
Jeez, wait. Don't tell anybody. Jeez, that's terrible. I think it's non-lethal bullets. I think there's nets that need to drop down. We need to get more physical. These guys are getting real technical. We need to go back to the old school, and we need things coming out of the trees, maybe even drones that come up and start spraying color all over them so they can't run away because they're hot pink.
Oh, well, that'd be a good point. Have you noticed any changes in your neighborhood related to security at this point, Nick?
Yeah, everyone's got the same thing. It's that doorbell, camera, it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker, so everyone's utilizing that. And so we're all being monitored. I don't know how anybody gets away with anything anymore. Chauncey, you see any changes?
Well, I live next to a police officer, so I don't have to worry about much. As long as he pulls that car outside, I'm safe. We're fine in my neighborhood.
All right, let's update you now on a story we've been reporting on a gentleman named Steve Everson. Steve was in charge of transportation for CVUSD. Steve found that some bus drivers were padding their time cards. He went to the district as he was supposed to do. He reported what he found as he was supposed to do. They put him on administrative leave, then they fired him, but they told him he could appeal at a hearing. Why would you fire someone and then tell them to appeal? Well, we've learned the district doesn't want that hearing to take place. We've learned the district is desperately trying to settle with him, because if that hearing takes place, there's a lot of information about what really goes on in that district that they don't want the public to hear. To sum it up, they don't want the layers of their onion to be peeled. Peeling onions, that's what a good neighbor does. Cheryl, Thousand Palms, looking for a handy person to remove an overrange microwave and install a new one.
Martin and Rancho Mirage wondering, anybody have any experience with Dr. Wolf at Eisenhower? If you've used Dr. Wolf, let us know what you think. Beverly Palm Desert needs a chandelier reassembled. Anybody out there to help her? And Vicki in Indian Wells needs to get her car smogged, and she's looking for a top-notch spot. Who's got an idea?
You're out and about and you see things.
When you do, see it, shoot it, and send it.
Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Rogan or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
The Rivco animal lawsuit adds yet another layer. All right, the case against the Rivco Animal Services is moving forward. And Dan Bolton joins us with an update. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you, Fred. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and you have been busy. Now, do we have an update to the lawsuit?
We do indeed. We filed today an amended petition in the court, which amplifies and expands upon our waste of taxpayer funds claims that deal with a $2.5 million boondoggle deal to Kirsten Hassan for her consulting work, that address the hiring of Aaron Geddes with no experience in shelter management, and also some of the nepotistic hires in the Animal Services Department.
Are you a legitimate threat to the county, or are you an annoyance with these lawsuits?
Well, I think a little bit of each. Hopefully, I'm a legitimate threat. You know, the court upheld our Hayden Act claims some time ago. The county had been saying since day one, the Hayden Act, doesn't exist, doesn't apply, isn't applicable. And the court said that with respect to our claims for medical care for animals and record keeping for animals, that they had a duty and an obligation to comply with the Hayden Acts.
I believe the last time you were with us, you said the county had reached out to you. Did anything come of that?
I didn't. I responded that I wasn't ready to sit down with them until we sorted out the taxpayer waste claims. But I did say, if you want to cancel today the $2.5 million boondoggle Hassan deal, then we certainly would consider it. I mean, keep in mind, as of today, after about 6 months, they have paid her, the county, have paid her over $500,000. And what do we see for that $500,000 plus dollars? Virtually nothing. Nothing has changed. The killing of animals has skyrocketed. under the current leadership. So not a great deal has changed other than some fancy PR.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I think they've just done a much better job with their messaging. They really have. Here's the difference. Initially, they just denied it and were confrontational when you called them on it. Now, they admit it, but say it in such a way where they want you to feel bad for them.
They do. They want you to feel bad for them. They're doing everything they can. They, are just trying to solve these problems, but somehow they can't. But the easy solution for them is what they're doing. That's killing animals. It takes work to stop that. Palm Springs does it. They can do it too.
What is next in the case?
So we filed this today. The county has 30 days to respond. I'm sure they'll challenge it again, and we'll be back before the court in another month or two.
All right. Dan, thanks for the update. Appreciate it.
Sure. My pleasure. Take care.
All right, so the lawsuit gets a little deeper, but what do we do while the legal proceedings play out? Maybe it's time to come up with a new plan. La Quinta City Councilman Steve Sanchez joins us. Steve, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so as I look at the situation with animal shelters, I've come to the determination, really, that no one really has a solution that works. And it doesn't matter if Mary Martin is in charge here or Mary Poppins. Nothing's really going to change. Maybe the messaging will be different. But you sent me something over the weekend, and I looked at it, and I was fascinated. Maybe there is another way to do this, isn't there?
You know, for a while I've been talking about, hey, let's explore the idea. Let's just explore the idea of having a special district or a joint powers authority in the Coachella Valley, made up of the cities of the Coachella Valley and even the county, right? And see if we can take the animal services off the plate of the county and see if we can do it ourselves. We do it for a lot of other things. Sunline is run by the 9 cities and the county. Your Parks and Rec District, Mosquito District. The model exists, right? And I was at a, at a Joint Power Insurance Authority event last week, and just happened to be chatting with another council member from another area out by Buena Park. We were talking about animal services, and they were telling me their 8 cities in the area did exactly what we just talked about. They came together, put together a joint power authority, a JPA, and created their own animal services district separate from the county. They just branched off from the county. They said, you know what, we can do this on our own, we can do it better. And they're doing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, serendipity, right? I was just talking about it, and there was a council member right there that's actually doing it.
How do they pay for it?
So they pay for it a little bit by each city's general fund, and then basic things, fees, adoption fees, application fees, stuff like that, right? But it's enough to cover what they've been wanting to do. They can actually do it. And this entire time, I thought this concept was unique in my head. I thought, wow, no one's ever thought of this. I'm glad to see other jurisdictions have actually done it. And I hear there's another area, and I need to research who it is, that's actually doing the same thing too. A group of cities got together, they made their own JPA, and they control their own animal services. So this is something I'd like for us to at least talk about within our own city councils and have the discussion and see how we can make this thing work. So if we look at it strategically and logically, if we can take this burden off the county and put it on the plates of the Coachella Valley residents. And also the residents can hold their own city councils accountable directly instead of having to drive to Riverside and petition the County Board of Supervisors.
This is a really good idea. So now we're talking about it. How do you make this happen?
Yeah, so luckily I've been talking to a few council members throughout the valley, kind of just talking about the idea. And they seem pretty keen on it. But I think it has to start with the residents asking their council members and mayors, hey, at least have the conversation. And that's what it takes. I mean, again, it may not be the answer or it may be, but we don't know because nobody wants to continue this message forward. Nobody wants to talk about it a little bit more.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds like a pretty good solution. When no one has one, this one sounds like a pretty good one. Thanks for coming in and thanks for sharing this.
Thank you.
Well, it is the dog days of summer and everybody trying to figure out how to stay cool. Perhaps Chloe has an idea in super weather.
Swimming hole!
This is big. The badass baker makes her Rogan Report debut next.
Riddle me this. What can you hold in your left hand, but not in your right?
We'll figure it out. All right, yesterday in Good Neighbor, Linda Cathedral City gave a shout out to the Badass Baker. It's a home baker in Palm Springs, and it's blowing up on Nextdoor. So what did we do? We reached out to Kim Sanchez, a.k.a. the Badass Baker, and she joins us now. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. This is so much fun.
Okay. Why are you a badass?
You know, there comes a point in time in an age where you just don't care what people think anymore, and you don't care what people say anymore. And, you know, being badass to me means like saying what you want to do, speaking your mind, not really worried about what other people think. And at my age, I've lived a lot of life, and I'm feeling pretty badass these days.
All right, so why did you start the bakery?
I owned a small cafe in Long Beach for 6 years, and in 2019 sold it before COVID happened and swore to God I would never get back into this again. However, I miss it and I love it, and it's something I do really well, and I'm doing it again. Here I am.
And why did you come up with the name? I know why you're badass, but why this name?
You know, I went through a lot of different things. I've had my own company. I've gone through some really tough things with that company, and I came out being a badass. I mean, you know, living large, being bold.
All right. So now, what exactly do we make at the bakery?
I make specialty orders. I make all kinds of things. I think what I'm really doing well with right now is the focaccia bread. I learned how to make it in San Francisco from a little bakery that's all they did. And that savory piece is going really well. Cakes, cupcakes, turnovers, dessert platters, party platters, all of it. I do it all.
And how does this work? People call you, each order is individualized, specific?
Right now, that's how it's working. So I'm a micro enterprise home bakery, which is really cool. You can call me, you can text me. I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm everywhere I can be all the time. And I work with you specifically. And one thing I think that's really cool out here, you know what, like yesterday I delivered a strawberry shortcake to this woman in this beautiful house, older woman, but she was all by herself, Fred. And you know what? Like, I can do a small little thing for you. I can drop 6 cupcakes to you for the person who's alone. And I think that's just something that's really cool.
All right. So, Kim, do you have anything to show us?
I do.
What do you have? Let's see it.
All right, let's see it. So this is just the orders I'm working on right now. Tell me if you can see those.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got a focaccia bread. I've got some breads that are going out to order. I've got a dozen little mini cupcakes. I have cinnamon rolls that aren't quite iced yet. And this is kind of like my weird little production line, like going down the kitchen. It's fun. It's a small kitchen. It produces what I need it to produce.
If somebody wants to get a hold of you, if somebody wants you to bake for them, what do they do?
They can hit me up on social media, The Badass Baker Girl on Facebook, The Badass Baker Girl on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as The Badass Baker. You can reach out to me directly, any of those things.
All right. You're the best. Good luck with this. We love the name. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much, Fred. Have an awesome day.
She is absolutely delightful and very badass. Your daily dose of cuteness when we return.
The Rogan Report was presented by the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens. They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm Springs News. Even astronauts tune in for their news fix.
You think you know everything and we know nothing? Prove it.
Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Rogan. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
Maybe you are the smartest person in the room.
Hey, what can you hold in your left hand but not in your right? Your right hand.
Good point. You know, I check messages during the show on the breaks. Glenn from Indio, the landscape of the Coachella Valley will be forever changed, talking about the warehouses. Soon there will be warehouses as far as the eye can see. Who cares if the air we breathe becomes deadlier than it already is, and the freeway will be bumper to bumper with big rigs. Come on, city government, figure out your budgets without making this a place nobody wants to come to. All right, we appreciate you watching. You get a break tomorrow. NFL football. We're back on Friday. We look forward to this next.